very good morning to you. This is EANM and my name is Roy Shepherd. It's our final morning of broadcasting here in Hamburg. The Congress is nearly over, but not quite yet. I don't know how many dozens or even maybe 100 sessions you will have attended so far over the last couple of days. Well, the person who was responsible for organizing that has joined me this morning, Valentina Garibotto. Good morning. You're looking very lively and obviously you've recovered very well from the party last night. How do you feel now that we've nearly finished your second Congress?
Thank you, Roy. I'm feeling well. I'm happy for what we've seen over these last days, and everything is going well.
Okay, give us an insight into what goes on behind the scenes, because people always just see the finished article. They don't know about the incredible work that goes on in order to make something like this happen.
I mean, the work has many facets. So on one hand, we have to select the content, to decide what's most new, most relevant, most important for the audience and for everyone in the audience. And we are a very nice but also very diverse community. So there are those interested in oncology, neurology, in the technological advances, in regulations. So there are very different topics that are covered, different professions included as well. So we have to try to think to keep this diversity in the content and also leaving space to what's new, to what's relevant. Yeah.
So I'm always intrigued that with such a dynamic profession, there is so much happening in so many different areas. How do you decide whether something is genuinely moving things forward, or maybe it's just a little bit sexy right now and people feel, oh, this is quite interesting? Where do you draw the line?
This is a very good question, and how we try to make reasonable guesses. I usually try not to decide completely alone. Of course, I mean, I'm not alone. The content is suggested by committees, group, councils, and discussed with the EANM board. And if I had doubts, I discussed with my colleagues, try to ask for opinions, but I also finally accept the fact that sometimes I decide on the basis of what I know, and probably, I mean, some things are wrong, or, I mean, we bet on topics that are not maintained, but so far I don't think I did a lot of mistakes.
No, well, that's brilliant to hear, and I think a lot of people would actually agree with you on that one. So, Valentina, tell me about the plenary sessions.
That's really a content I prepare, so this is my work. And I have, as we were saying, to ensure that we talk about everything, that the content is novel, but also important for everyone, because for those sessions, there are no other parallel sessions. So in theory, the 8,000 participants could all be there. And the room was very full, and we talked about many different things. So there was a lot of attention on theranostics, on therapeutical approaches and their combination, all the novel things from all over the world. Then we had a full session of clinicians, and that was so nice to hear. I mean, the urologist, the endocrinologist telling us how important it was, the work we do, the oncologist, so all enthusiastic about the information we can provide and the treatment we can provide.
I'm glad you included oncologists in that.
I was trying to list them, but I mean, there were 6 of them. And then sessions on novel technologies and also how ultimately we can evaluate their impact. So is a novel technology not only good and useful, but also worth, in a way, investing and going on with that. So I learned a lot. I liked it.
So you've got another one to do as Congress Chair. What are the thought process? How far advanced are you in preparation for Barcelona next year? Because this is almost as though this Congress has already happened, so you're working on the next one. So what's that process?
We've decided, let's say, 3/4 or 2/3 of the content for what's invited and planned. Some still needs adjustment. And on that, I'm really considering how it went this year, what we found, what we discovered in order to nicely complement what was possibly missing this year that will take place or will have some space next year, etc. Indeed, we're already fully in EANM 2025.
Right, we were talking earlier on about how my first EANM was actually here in Hamburg in this venue, which because of the transformation, I would never even recognize any of it. And I think the numbers then were about 4,900, which was the largest EANM had ever had at the Congress. So here we are 9 years later, and who could possibly have imagined that the numbers are what, 883, something like that?
Yeah.
One of the other things that I remember having a conversation about was the importance of making this Congress appealing to young professionals. How important has it been to you as the Congress chair to ensure that this appeals to people starting out in their careers?
It is important because it's actually, young professionals are the future. There's no doubt about it. We need people that want to continue the work to ensure its success in the future. And there are a lot of initiatives in this sense. The Young Professional Council is doing a tremendous job into that. And it's also successful. In the opening ceremony, we had the opportunity to look around and see how many of the participants were below 38. And there was a very large amount. So
that's very healthy,
it is.
Isn't it? It's very healthy indeed. So one of the things I've heard over the last few days is there is actually a shortage of people within the workforce. And I think that's in a number of different medical disciplines. How can you successfully persuade people to come into nuclear medicine?
They should just have a long chat with me. I'm sure I would convince them. It's a fantastic job. It's the best
why
ever.
Is it fantastic? Why is it fantastic?
It's what I think, but also what many others I was talking to were saying. I'm happy to go to work in the morning. I like it. We discover new things. We are helping patients, so the mission is there, and is possibly true for all, or for all medical professions and support. But there is this dimension of ever changing, so you cannot be bored, because what we're doing now, it's not what we were doing 5 years ago, and it's definitely not what we will do in 5 years' time. And it's a collaborative work, so maybe it appeals those persons that like to work with others rather than those that like to work on their own.
Yeah, I thought there was a very nice little touch where you Y-tagged sessions. So to say to young people, this is specifically aimed at people starting out in their career, to ensure that they didn't go to sessions that were completely above their pay grade or their experience level. How successful would you say that's been?
I don't know. I don't have the information there. The work has been done by the council and the different presenters in the sessions, and let's say those that proposed the sessions, so that they guessed that this was a good session to start with. How this matched with the participants, I don't have the feedback. It's definitely something we need to check.
And that is one of the things that everybody does at the end of a Congress. You'll be poring over the numbers and the analytics. So thank you for joining me this morning. It's been great to see you, and looking so upbeat, actually. It's quite incredible, because I know how much work goes into all of this, and you've done a fantastic job. So on behalf of everyone who's attended here, thank you for that. And I know that you've got an incredible EANM team as well, in the office. They are just working flat out all the time. So
fantastic.
So thank you so much. Enjoy the last few hours of the Congress.
We go preparing for the closing.
Yeah, and then get back into sorting out Barcelona, for goodness sake. Well, that's all from us. I'll be back in just a few minutes, where we'll be talking about breast cancer. So that's in a moment.